Did you know that you could tell if your opponent is passing the ball or running the ball before the ball is actually snapped? That's just one of 10 hidden features I'm about to reveal to you about Madden that will help you win more games. So how do you tell if your opponent is running the ball or passing the ball before the play? Here's what you have to pay attention to. Notice here that I am in a passing play. So if I move my cursor around my offense, let's say I wanted to motion one of my receivers or my tight end or my running back, notice how I can put the cursor on everybody except the offensive line. Now, if we're in a run play, watch this. I can also put my cursor on the offensive line. And what happens in game is a lot of people do this by accident almost every play. So if you're on the opposite side of the ball right here, you can see that my cursor is on my offensive lineman, Jackson. Now, if you were in a game on defense, you wouldn't actually see the cursor, but you would see the name Jackson underneath him. So if you ever see the last name of the offensive line pop up on the screen for a brief second, you know it's a run play, and then you can run commit to stop it. You do this on defense by pressing the RB or R1 button, and then you want to guess the play, run up the middle, which is down on the right stick. So now they go to run the ball, and we're shooting down there, and everybody's committed to the run, and they won't get any yards. Just be smart with this tactic and try to use it at the right time. Don't do it too much because a smart opponent will catch on, then they'll audible to a pass and beat you for a touchdown. I'm sure most of you know that you can audible in Madden. For example, I'm in the gun bunch formation. If I press the X or square button, my audibles come up, and then I can cycle through any formation that has the same personnel, which is 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 running back, and I can audible into that formation. But what you might not know is there's an even trickier way to use this that they don't tell you about. At my play call menu for gun bunch, I can change the personnel of my play by pressing the Y or triangle button, and for example right here, I can put a second tight end on the field. So I'm going to take out my slot receiver, and I'm going to go put in another tight end. Now, since my personnel is changed on the field, when I pull up my audible menu, I can now audible into an entire different set of formations like gun deuce close, for example, which is a really good formation this year. And this makes it very hard for your opponents to play defense because they have to defend against pass heavy sets, but then you can audible into more run heavy sets because you changed your personnel. Now, a crazy way you can use this to take advantage of the defense in short yardage situations is coming out in 5 wide, but having 3 tight ends and 2 running backs on the field. The defense has to respect the pass out of a spread set where you can easily carve them up, but what you can do now is you can actually audible into the goal line formation because this uses the exact same personnel, and they will not be able to have the defense on the field to stop a heavy run set like this, and you could pick up easy first downs, gashing them for big rushing yards. And if you're enjoying these tips so far, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss any of the future tips I'm going to be posting for the rest of the year. Did you know that you could give yourself up in the pocket as a quarterback and avoid taking sacks that could result in fumbles? Especially in a big situation, you want to take advantage of this, and for some reason they don't ever tell anybody that this is a feature. So if you're in the pocket and you want to give yourself up, you hold down the left trigger and you also press the right joystick in at the same time. If you're on PlayStation, it's the L2 button and the right joystick at the same time, and your QB will lay down and live to fight another down. Quick adjusting on defense will save you a bunch of time and help you get in those crucial adjustments before your opponent snaps the ball. So let's say I'm in a man defense right here, but I'm worried about the receiver on the outside left of the field. I'm worried that he could be on a man beating corner route to the sideline. So instead of having that guy manned up, maybe I want him in a deep third. Well, most people think to do this that you have to actually click onto the player, hit the A or X button, and then up on the left joystick to put him in the deep third, but there's a quicker way to do this. Especially when you're on your user defender, if you click over to this guy and you get quick snap, now you have to user this guy, and that's not what you want. You want to be in the middle of the field covering up that area. So instead of clicking onto that cornerback manually, I could do what's called quick adjusting, and for the secondary, the way you bring this up is you hit the Y or triangle button twice, and then as you can see, we have all these icons on the field. We can select which individual player we want to adjust. In our case, this is the X cornerback, so we hit X and then we hit up on the left stick, and now we've put him into the deep zone without ever having to move over to him. We can also do this for our linebackers. Let's say I want to blitz this linebacker right here, Nick Bolton. Well, I don't have to get on him. I can stay on my user, and all I have to do is hit right on the D-pad twice, and then I can select him, which is the A icon, and then I can go down on the right stick to blitz him. I never had to actually go over to him. And so by doing this, I can change up multiple players on the field without ever having to actually leave my user defender, which means I'll never get caught out of position and I'll always be where I need to be. There's a feature in the game called the Send Spy feature that helps you defend scrambling quarterbacks, but it also can help you in defending the run as well. So this is kind of a 2-for-1 tip. If you ever see somebody scrambling outside of the pocket, you can click down the right joystick and it will send the QB spy just like that after the quarterback, or it'll send the nearest zone defender. This makes it hard for scrambling quarterbacks to get positive yards, and they either have to throw the ball away or force a quick pass. But you can also use this feature in the run game. As soon as you see your opponent hand the ball off, click the right joystick in, and what it's going to do is it's going to make everybody react more to the run. It sounds weird, but it's true. Because clicking your right joystick in sends your defenders quicker at the ball carrier, this really helps in defending the run. I do want to mention very quickly that I have a Patreon page where I post the most advanced Madden strategies every week, so if you want to check that out, link is below in the pinned comment. Did you know you can move one of your receiving options anywhere you want to on the field after the ball is snapped? So let's look at Randall Cobb in the slot here. Notice he's not open. If we point our right joystick up, we can send him up the field into the open area, and we just turned a no gainer into a huge play. This is known as the playmaker feature. You can playmaker the closest receiving option in any direction you want, and you can turn nothing into something really quickly. Did you know that you can flip your run play without your opponent having any clue? Now here I'm going to show you the original way to do it. You can see our run's going to the right. If we want to flip this to the left, we would take the right joystick and we would flick it to the left, but you notice how Daniel Jones taps his shoulder here, giving away that we could be flipping the run. Well, if I flip my run now to the left as Daniel Jones is walking up to the line, notice how my run's now going to the left, but he never tapped his shoulders to give it away. So my opponent is going to likely think we're running to the strong side because that's where most runs go. But instead, we're actually going to the weak side where we could potentially beat them for a huge gain because they're not expecting it. See, our run's going right. Now we flip it left. We're not set yet. Now we're going left, and there was no tell that we ever flipped the play. And again, this could get you some big yards because they're just going to not expect you to be going to the weak side. Did you know that there were multiple versions of every team's playbook in the game? When you click on your team at the team select screen, you can scroll down to advanced options, and then the next screen pops up where you can choose whatever playbook you want. But if you scroll down a few ticks, you'll see something that says NFL Live Playbooks, and this is on off. But if you click this to on, this will give you the most up-to-date version of that team's playbook, which is typically a little bit different than the default version. It'll usually have different plays and different formations from the default version, and you might like this one better. Here's a secret tip that's guaranteed to give you better pass rush from your defensive line. Now right here, I want you to notice I'm just going to play regular. I'm not really going to do anything different, and notice I had a decent amount of time to pass there. We'll do it again here just so you can see that it's not a fluke. Notice I have a pretty good amount of time to pass if I stand in the pocket. Now here's the secret tip. If you pass commit before the play, your defensive line will block shed much quicker, much more consistently. To do this, you press the RB or R1 button, and then you want to go up on the right stick to guess play pass. And as you'll notice, they're going to get to me much quicker. Now right there, they just missed them all together, which sometimes that's just Madden being Madden. But on average, they're going to block shed much quicker. As you can see here, I can't climb up in the pocket the same way I could before. They're getting off the blocks much quicker, as you can see, and there's not much I can do about it. Just keep in mind, if they were to run the ball, you're going to be a little weaker versus the run. So use this in obvious passing situations like 3rd and long or 4th and long. Did you know that you can make your defenders play all the way back to the first down marker? In a situation like this, it's 3rd and 19. We want to make sure we defend the first down line, so we can press Y or triangle and then select the LB or L1 button to play the sticks. This is going to make our defenders drop further back and defend that first down marker, so that now it's going to be really hard to throw anything near that first down line. Now that you know about these secret features and tips, you're about halfway there, but you need to know the best overall tips and tricks for the entire game, and you can check out that video right here on the screen.